Hello, hello. Will everyone test their microphones, please? Yours doesn't work? Okay, let me go to the sound in the back. Can y'all test your mics again, please?
Lauren, test, test. Lauren,
No for Lan? Speak again, Lan. Okay. Okay.
It's just very informative. How about that? In case you want to read further. Oh, so sorry.
That's all right.
Howard, he made me. I'm very sorry about that reading that.
hello, hello.
Okay.
Where's that band? Hello, hello, hello.
Hello. you.
Come to order. This is a regular city council meeting. It's being held on Thursday, June 19th, 2025 at 7 p.m. at Seymour City Hall, 301 North Washington Street in Seymour, Texas. All notices have been duly posted in accordance and conformance with the government code of the state of Texas, section 551.072C. The city of Seymour attempts to make its meetings accessible to all its citizens. If you have need of auxiliary aids, please notify the city secretary at 940-889-3148 at least 48 hours in advance. The agenda is also posted on the city's website at cityofseymour.org with the following agenda to be considered. We have a call to order, so we'll call the roll. Excuse me, Councilman Lan Nguyen. Here. Council Lady Debbie Gillespie.
Here.
Councilman Billy Hendricks.
Here.
Councilman Skylar Hendricks. Here. Okay, we got here. So we've got a quorum plus one. Let's do the Pledge of Allegiance, and then if you'll remain standing for the prayer, I'll lead us in prayer. We have no flag. There's the flag right there. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Father, just come to you this evening and thankful to live where we live, this country, this nation, this town. We're thankful for everyone here today. Thank you for your provision for us in our lives. Father, give us wisdom and knowledge, and help us go forth in this meeting and do the right thing for the right reasons. Father, forgive us where we fail you. It's in Jesus' name I pray. Amen. Okay, just got a couple of announcements. We've got just a couple of events coming up. The rodeo's coming up, I think, on the 11th and 12th of next month. So that's usually a very well-attended event. Just a little general information. We're working on our budget for the next fiscal year. So you as the public, if you have some ideas of where you want things concentrated or things addressed in town, let us know. And also wanted to kind of briefly go through the speaking rules on public comments. And the purpose is to hear citizens' concerns, and any citizen may speak on any item on the agenda or not on the agenda for 3 minutes. Public hearings, any citizen may speak during public hearings. Comments must be confined to the matter of the public hearing. Any citizen may speak on 2 agenda items during the discussion of any agenda item. A citizen may speak on a 3rd agenda item by making a request to the city manager 24 hours in advance. An email is sufficient for that. To be recognized, a citizen will complete a council communication form prior to the meeting. Comments must be confined to the agenda item being addressed. Generally, on agenda items, time will be limited to 3 minutes. We have mayor and council has some discretion if you don't quite have need just a little bit more time to finish your comments. So that's all I have in terms of mayor's comments. Let's see, Dr. Brazier, would you like to speak on anything at this time?
I sure would. I am honored and privileged to recognize our Lifeguard Excellence Award. And before we present that, I just want to report to the council that up to this point, we've had a great run at the city pool. We have a great manager, Mr. Leonard Ostraka, is leading a great team of lifeguards. We have 2 strong team leaders in Garrett Gwynn and Araya Ladd, and they're all doing an outstanding job. And so I asked them if they would come up and if they would nominate one outstanding lifeguard that sets them apart from the other lifeguards, just from their attention, their focus, their hard work, their determination, their willingness to be there and be there on time. Anyway, so after visiting with them, they get nominated this young man, and I've nicknamed him Scatabo. After Cam Scatabo, the running back sensation from Arizona, because this young man runs so much like him and looks like him in some aspects about it. So we're really excited about watching him in this upcoming football season. But at this point in time, I'd like our manager, Linda Straka, if he would come up and help me with the behalf of the mayor and the city council recognize our Lifeguard Excellence Award to Jackson Carrington. So Jackson, if you would come up, if everyone give him a big hand for, again, serving our community, keeping our kids safe, and just being an overall an outstanding young man.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Brazier, for that. And we appreciate them coming here. We're doing first we're doing citizen comments. That's next, I guess. Anyone like to come up and speak? You're welcome to do so. Just voice whatever you'd like to voice. And if you don't, there are some agenda items, you'd have a chance to comment on those. If not, let's go ahead. We're privileged to have Ms. Nancy Townley here today. She is interested in being appointed to the Seymour City Council, and I've known Ms. Townley for quite a while, and her husband Bill, and they've been residents here for a long time. And Ms. Townley, if you'd like to come up and just kind of tell us a little bit about yourself, and if anybody's got a question, they can ask a question.
Hear me? Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. Well, thank you, Mr. Mayor, council people, and staff. I appreciate the privilege to be coming for you tonight to just tell you about my interest in the position of filling a vacant position on the council to serve alongside you. I'm privileged to have worked with a lot of people in a lot of bigger cities in my life. And one of the things that I always come back to is I think Seymour is a hidden gem. When I think about all of the things that we do to try to recruit people in various professions, some of the things that people are always looking for are a safe place to live, good infrastructure, safe, clean water, good electricity, decent rates, decent tax rates, good amenities. This auditorium is one of them. Good fun things for families to do. And so I think we check the boxes on all of that. So one of the reasons that I became interested in this position is I retired after about way too many years in healthcare, mostly in healthcare administration, a year and a half ago. And at that time, began sort of looking around for positions that I felt like I could contribute to, and that maybe I had a certain skill set that maybe could be helpful. I'm very complimentary of the city leadership, the city administration, the council members. I feel like for all the reasons that I just stated, that you guys have done a great job. And my goal in being a part of the council would be to continue that great job. I realize that it's a hard job, and I think just a brief outline. I put my an abbreviated CV in front of you, but as I thought about this position, I've never served in any city government position before, but I have run several major healthcare systems. And when you think about a hospital, it is a lot like running a small city. Obviously, there is patient care associated with it, but there are an awful lot of employees, there are physicians, and anybody that has ever dealt with doctors too much knows that they're not the easiest people to deal with. And so, volunteers. So you have the human resources aspect of it. You also have big budgets that you have to deal with and make sure that the services are provided, but that they're within a fiscally responsible way. Their healthcare is probably one of the most regulated industries in the world. So we became very used to federal, state, and local ordinances, regulations, accrediting bodies, et cetera, understanding that there's a myriad of reports that have to be written and rules that have to be complied with in order to be safe and be in compliance with all the various regulations. As a part of my role, 30 years most recently at United Regional Healthcare System as the Chief Operating Officer, I was in charge of obviously all the patient care activities and all the people that were associated with that, but also had responsibility for all of the facilities, the grounds, for the emergency management, for the contracting for various services, including utilities, water. I had the occasion to work on many occasions with the city on new building or renovation projects where we had to look at zoning ordinances or building permits, that sort of thing. I've reviewed, I don't know how many contracts in that 30-year period of time for everything from supplies to services to equipment. We ran a security department with 24 officers, 24/7 around the clock. So I feel like although I would have an awful lot to learn about city government, and I would need obviously to learn from you guys, and if you give me the opportunity, avail myself of the understanding from the leadership team, the management team, as well as giving maybe the opportunity to go to some seminars or whatnot to learn. I've not had much experience in open meetings, but the one thing that I have a lot of experience in is making decisions that we think are the best for the overall good, and knowing that those decisions are not always popular. And some people don't mind stopping in the grocery store and letting you know about those decisions. And so I do know how to work within a team. I do know how to, even if I oppose a decision, I do know that it would be my responsibility to help explain to the extent that I can and to work alongside each one of you all to support that decision, even if I don't agree with it. I also know a lot about confidentiality, being in the healthcare industry, about when it's appropriate to discuss things and when it's not. So I will stop there and just let you know that I am interested and would be honored in filling this vacant position and working alongside you guys, and happy to answer any questions.
Very good. Does the council have any questions for Ms. Townley? Councilman Wynn said you answered all his. We're just you've got a really impressive resume, and like you say, you, in a small town, in the grocery store, you will get. I mean, not just you'll get concerns, from time to time, and that's fine, and you'll get complaints, but you'll get compliments too. People have come up to me any number of times and remarked on the good things that are going on in the city. So that's rewarding, and it's sometimes it doesn't always go that way for sure, and there are hard decisions to make. Would someone like to make a motion to appoint Ms. Townley to the Seymour City Council?
Mayor, I'll make a motion. We appoint Ms. Townley to the council place number 4.
Okay. Do we have a second? We have a second. You got that, Lauren? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Did Skylar say aye? Okay, good. I heard it. Okay. Would you like to come up here and join us? We'll make
I've
room.
got to swear in real quick.
Got to swear in first. There you go. Thank you, Lynn.
So I will, I'll say aye and then you state your name. I'll read everything and then you will agree. If you don't want to agree. Okay. So in the name and by the authority of the state of Texas, I do solemnly swear that I will faithfully execute the duties of the office of City Council Place 4 of the state of Texas and will do to the best of my ability preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution and laws of the United States and this state, so help me God. I do. I
Nancy Townley,
do solemnly swear that I will faithfully execute the duties of the office of Council Place 4. These seem very repetitive. Of the state of Texas and will do the best of my ability to preserve, protect, defend the Constitution and the laws of the United States, so help me God. So, thank you. You may. Oh, I have a packet for you.
That was excellent. Okay, moving right along. We've done the swearing in, so we're going to go to presentations. Mr. John Davis, who is the reverse osmosis plant supervisor, will come up and just give us an overview or enlighten us on what's going on out there. And that is
Okay, so I was asked to come and update the council kind of on what the,
I'm going to interrupt real quick. Can I interrupt just 1 second? Councilman Hendricks is going to step out now that y'all have a quorum to continue because he is at work. So thank you. Thank you for participating. Alrighty.
I was asked to come up here and update the council kind of on what's going on in the past at the Oro plant, kind of what we have planned for the future. So starting with our last projects that we completed, at the end of 2024, both of our finished water tanks got recoated on the inside. And both of those tanks will probably need a exterior recoating in the next 1 or 2 years. The coating on it now is still in pretty good shape, but there's some light staining. The clear coat on the outside is kind of worn thin, so when you rub up against the finish, it will rub off. So it's going to be the next year or two. We also just finished redoing the water tower by City Hall on the inside back in right before the end of the year. The raw water tank at the RO plant, we're looking to have to redo the inside of that probably in the next 3 to 5 years. We're also looking to be on a service contract for a lot of this work that we'll be paying for the work done in kind of installments. With the raw water tank, the service contract that we're looking to go into will cover the work done, but it will also have to have a way to bypass that tank so that we can still produce water, and that will not be included in the contract. And A few years ago, we did send out quotes to do that part of the project. We looked at installing a permanent tank that we could bypass the raw water tank anytime we needed to. Because right now, if we have an issue with that tank, there's no way to bypass it at all. So an issue with that tank would put us out of water production. And thankfully, we haven't ever had that issue come up. But it seems like something could happen potentially to cause that. I don't think we're going to be able to afford anything permanent like that. I think we'll have to go a cheaper route of installing something temporarily to bypass it, just because the cost of it was almost the cost of an entirely new tank, basically. The next year's projects, we're looking to update a few chemical feeds. The caustic soda feed, I'll go ahead and buy probably before this budget is up. And we'll do the installation in-house. And then we will also more than likely replace our anti-scalant feed sometime later in that year. They're just getting pretty old. Usually we have 2 pumps for each chemical feed, so one will serve as a backup, and we haven't had a functioning backup in quite a while. I do have a temporary caustic feed already set up, and I can set up an anti-scalant feed quickly if we need to. So we're kind of covered in that area at least. There's been a lot of talk about our water losses. I'm still going over some of the numbers from the last year, but it does look like it's gotten progressively worse each year. I was talking with Chase this morning about kind of how we plan to address that, and he's been looking into ways to identify leaks that aren't visually apparent, because we feel like the leaks that you can see are fixed quickly. So it seems like it's an issue with something that we're not seeing. He contacted the Water Development Board, and he was able to get an acoustic sensor to listen for water leaks free of charge. You just had to pay to have it shipped here that they provided for us for 30 days, and we can also do an extension if we need to on it. But they're going to start using that to see if they can identify some leaks, some of the smaller leaks. And I know that the amount of water that we're talking about is kind of hard to comprehend. We're talking on average 30 million gallons of water lost each year. And to put it in perspective, our sales to the town are usually around 75 to 85 million gallons. So it's a big percentage. But Chase and I were talking today, and we roughly have 26 miles of water lines running through town. So hypothetically, if we had 2 leaks on each mile section of line, that they all leaked 1 gallon per minute, over the year, that would be 27 million gallons. So it's very possible that these are very small problems that are just adding up to be a large amount. But we'll continue to look at it. I don't know how successful we'll be with identifying these issues, especially if they're really small. But replacing sections of line, those types of projects may be more benefit to us in getting that number down. Our wells, they're doing well after the recent rains. All of them have improved. Some have improved more than others, which is kind of typical. But they're doing much better. We currently have 6 active wells. And then we have one that's could be active, but we don't run it because it puts out too much sand. We'll have another one on before the end of this cycle. And probably one other one at least pretty quick into the new year. Our inspection was just recent, and We did pretty well overall. We have few small things to address, but our wells is continuing to be one that it's been an outstanding violation since our last inspection. So they're going to expect us to continue to address some of our inactive wells. After we get the ones on that we plan to get on in the next year, there are roughly 8 more around the RO plant that we'll have to test out and try to get a sample from. And if we choose not to use them, we'll need to plug them up. Let's see, our lead and copper testing we did last summer. There was an issue with it though. All of our samples came back extremely low, which is pretty typical for the town. However, the lab that did the testing failed to report the results out to TCEQ in time. So TCEQ decided to give us a monitoring violation, even though it was technically out of our hands at that point. So I'll be repeating the lead and copper sampling this summer. And we'll probably be doing some changing up the sample sites to give a better idea of maybe what our levels are. But typically they've been pretty good. So other than that, I don't have too much else. If y'all have any questions or
Y'all have some questions for Mr. Davis?
150,000. Yeah.
I agree with you. I think a lot of our water infrastructure is maybe 100 years old. Am I correct in that?
Chase could better answer that, but definitely a lot of it is very old for sure.
It's very old. So like you said, if we can, Dr. Brazier and I visited a little bit about trying to get a grant. There have been some legislation passed this last legislative session that may make it possible where we can avail ourselves of some money to help us on our infrastructure, because we don't want to continue to lose water. And it's nothing anybody in our city departments are doing. It's the infrastructure is really old, and entire lines need to be replaced, like you say. We don't have anything else. I appreciate you coming down. We appreciate what you do every day. Thanks, John. Okay. Ms. Kim Stevenson with Seymour Helping Hands is going to speak to us concerning a proposed ADA park area. That's exciting.
Try not to drop anything here. I'm going to place this right over here.
Speak real close to that microphone too, if you will. You don't usually have a problem being heard, but I'm just
I
saying.
can be heard across town if I need to. I'll try to stick to my 3 minutes here. First off, thank y'all for speaking with us. We spoke to y'all a while back about this project we wanted to try and do. And in the last year, we have spent a lot of work on the community center. I don't know if y'all know it or not. We've managed to get AA and NA class or meetings back in town, as well as a community pantry that is outside of our building, as well as inside. And now we are changing our focus to this ADA park, and we've put a lot of work into this. Our committee currently consists of Ms. Katrina Dreyer, myself, Amy Dunn, Linda Rose, Kimberly Hill, Jennifer Magoo, and Barbie Donnell. And each of these people have a different perspective to be able to bring to the table when it comes to this committee, but we are not done. We are asking that y'all consider, and that other members of our community consider, being part of the committee or volunteering and helping us understand what's needed here. With an ADA park, Seymour has got a beautiful park, and we are not complaining about anything the city's done. It's beautiful. It's wonderful to walk through. Y'all take great care of it. And if anything goes wrong, it don't take very long for somebody to get there and fix it. The thing is that when you have a child or even an adult that has a mobility issue or maybe a learning issue and things like that, they're very limited to what they can do there. Currently, there are 7-inch risers that surround each of the little play areas, and they're covered in pebbles. And as you can see, when Miss Scarlett came to visit with us today, it would be very difficult for her to roll over those 7-inch risers. So we want to get that difficulty out of the way for her and other people. There are 1,100 people within 100 miles of Seymour, Texas, and this could bring people into Seymour, people who want to live here because of it, people who want to visit here because of it, and things like that, that could be affected by this project. It is a $150,000 project, and To say I stumbled over those numbers when we got them was an understatement, because we don't want anything to be to where it costs the taxpayers anything or the city of Seymour anything. Y'all have already gone forward and put in a new ADA swing. We've seen it. And there's talk of once the weather clears up a little bit and then get the machinery in there, they're going to add some more areas like ramps and level off some stuff. We want to move the area that we originally asked for permission to look at. We'd like to move it over closer to the creek area inside the park near the big playground area. It's a more level area, means less work we have to do there, but it also will drain better, easier for people to get on. We're planning to put down a flat surface. A lot of times it's made by old tires. We're still looking into what we can put there. And we are currently already started fundraising, because as I told you, it's $150,000 minimum on this project probably. But these bricks here would give us a walkway between the current walking trail and we're one little park area. We are starting to sell those, and anything brought in for those will go straight to that. We're also looking at grants and other projects and ways we can do things to fund this. As I said, the goal is no money out of taxpayers' pockets except for what they want to give. The big thing is we need people that will help us with it, both planning, and when it comes time, we can save a lot of money. Mr. Brazier has already said the city would be willing to help us a little bit with manpower and machinery if they've got it. But if we could get some of the local groups, if y'all could just help us by talking to people, tell them what a great project this would be, and tell them to come talk to anybody on the committee, or if they want to be on the committee, just come tell us, because we've got our doors open. We're ready for it. And the project itself, if we can get people out there and maybe do a community build the day of, we can save a lot of money. And we can have a great thing that not only does it serve the children now, but it's our grandkids and our great-grandkids. My favorite part about the bricks, honestly, is I intend to purchase a brick, not in honor or memory of somebody, which we may do that, but I'm going to put a brick down there that says, Kat, Christina, and Max, Mom and Dad love you. And in 20 years, when they walk out there with my grandkids, or maybe my grandkids take their kids, they're going to be able to look at that brick path and say, my family helped do this. And this is something that we can all work together. And I just wanted to bring the changes. I've got paperwork here if you want to look at it. We've got it on our Facebook page. We've got it on our website. We even started TikTok to try and get this thing going right. But if you ever have any questions or anything, I want to make sure that you or any member of the community knows they can come talk to us about it. And hopefully the next time I meet with you guys, it's to tell you we've got a grant. We're going to gift this over to Seymour. Let's do this.
Thank you very much. A very, very worthy project. And it's good to see Scarlett back there, and Katrina, Barbie, Mr. Dreyer. It's good to see y'all back there. Appreciate y'all coming. And I do think and we have discussed, as Dr. Frazier was pretty proactive in getting the swing as quickly as he did. Appreciate him doing that. And so we've been visiting with Kim from time to time on this. So it looks like it's about to start to go forward. So it takes planning, and hopefully the grant will come in and help get this thing actually on the property. Thank you again. Our next presentation is Ms. Pam Hughes with Atmos Energy. Would you like to come up, and if you'll speak directly into the sound's really good if you can get right into it.
It's hard to beat the last presentation, that's for sure. You don't want to follow.
It's hard to follow right there.
Sorry. So sorry. Well, my name is Pam Hughes Pack, and the reason I asked, and I do appreciate the city staff for allowing me to do so. The reason why I asked to visit with you wasn't just because I'm tasked with doing a presentation, but also just to introduce myself. In the past, our public affairs person was Sean Martin, wonderful man, but he lives in Abilene, and it always bothered me that I'm from Holiday, and if anything ever happened out here, he'd be coming from Abilene to take care of it. And y'all are my neighborhood. So I asked to take the city. Another reason was I know that they've been doing a lot of replacement projects, because like the water infrastructure, a lot of the gas lines are almost 100 years old too. That's why we've been tearing up town, but in a good way. And I know that you need somebody to advocate for you, which is our whole intention. And it's much harder for him to do that from Abilene, where I'm just down the road and I can't run from you, so y'all can come and get me if you need me. So keep my card. I'm on call 24/7, and I don't have the answers, but I know the people who do, and I'll do what I can to get the right people to you so that you get the help that you need. It is a process for us because we have two different service centers, but I'm working on it. I promise. I'm going to turn that car around and we're going to make things good. So what I have here, I've already seen a mistake. I have a city profile for you guys. So if you take these really, really big numbers in the millions and reverse them, that would be correct. I just realized I put them in the wrong place. So instead of us spending over $9 million in Seymour this year, that's over the course of 5 years. But in the last year, we've spent over $6.5 million on those replacement projects that we've been doing in the community. That is within the city limits of Seymour. That's the capital expenditures Atmos is investing. One of the reasons that we're doing that is we pride ourselves in being the safest natural gas provider in the country. And if we have aged infrastructure, we know that they're not reliable, they're not safe, they're leaking out. Same with like the water, the whole process of it, except that it's dangerous. And we don't want our communities to not have safe assets. So we're diligently trying to replace. So when it is frustrating, just remember we're trying to do good in the future. That'll be a big win. But in the past year, we've spent $6.5 million. We have over 1,000 customers within the city limits of Seymour. And in the past year, from June to May, we have donated to nonprofits that benefit Baylor County up to $47,000. Our focuses are on feeding people, covering those basic needs. Anything that deals with kids' education, well, not everything, but things that deal with kids' education. We like to support our first responders and then energy assistance. And so there is a sheet, a very small sheet that I'll go over, and then I'm going to leave you that gigantic packet that you can read through because I know you want to, right? I'll go over this real quick, and then I'll pick the two things that I think you'll want to read in here. So this is our fueling energy report. We have been tasked by corporate to do this because I'm very blessed to live in a district that's very supportive of natural gas. But the larger cities, Houston, Austin, San Antonio, Dallas, they are not very friendly toward us. And so they've been working on climate action initiatives. And so we have been tasked with getting ahead of that and informing you of what we're doing to police ourselves. So we made a decision back in, I believe, 2017 that we were going to reduce our carbon emissions by 50% by 2035. And so far, we've reduced them by almost 20%. So we are on point and we'll probably exceed our goal. On this sheet in the back, it lists how we're doing that. And one of the ways we're doing that is replacing old infrastructure, because if they're leaking, they're producing carbon emissions, which is not our priority. It's really safety, but there's a second win in us doing the replacements. So we wanted to let you know we're doing this. We're doing what we can. Some of the other things we're doing is we're helping to create zero net homes that produce zero carbon emissions, and we're playing with that in several communities and trying to make that more efficient so that one day it will be affordable for all people to consider that option and still consider natural gas. And the reason we would want you to consider natural gas is because on the front there's a little house that says 372 on it. That's how much the average home that has natural gas saves in energy costs. We are still the most affordable, efficient, and available energy source, and especially in the state of Texas. And despite what you might hear about from climate action data, we produce 16% less carbon emissions in our homes that have gas than all electric homes. So we are aware of our shortcomings, and what we're trying to do is to get ahead of projects to keep our community safe. But we want to proactively help you understand that we are doing what we can for the environment as well. And then the things that you may want to look at in the packet. One of the things is I have a list of energy assistance companies or organizations. So I listed the ones that we have in the Wichita Falls service area, but Baylor is included in that. And some of them are like the Catholic Charities in Wichita Falls, Interfaith Outreach, Salvation Army, Rolling Plains. There's just an abundant list. But if you happen to have residents that are really struggling, like they need a repair and it's on their side of the meter, have them call Atmos and let us see what we can do first. And then if they're still short, we have given over $100,000 in energy assistance in this area to try to help customers with their bills and all of those incidents that happen that are beyond their control. And the other thing in the packet is you might get some calls. Probably the city hall will get some calls. We have a vehicle that goes through all of our communities. It's called an AMLD. It's a mobile detection system, and basically it sniffs out gas 1,000 times better than any other system we've ever used. So it runs between 7 p.m. and 6 a.m. So it's not disruptive. But then if somebody's out in their yard and they see this weird car that has a light and a little arm on the top, you may get a call. And what it's doing is we go down every street to every residence and every commercial customer that we have in the state of Texas, and proactively check our communities to make sure there aren't any leaks that haven't been called in yet. And most of the time when we catch those, they're at a super safe level. They're a grade 3. It explains it in the packet what that means, where it's non-hazardous, but we want to take care of it so it doesn't escalate. But you may get a call. So that's in the packet. All things you ever wanted to know about natural gas. And I will probably be back for the rate review sometime in August or September. So if you happen to have any questions you want to ask, please do so. But I didn't want to put you through this during that time when you're dealing with budgets too. And I appreciate your time. If y'all have any questions, please feel free to ask me.
Questions from the council? Anybody?
Thank you so much.
Ms. Hughes, thank you so much for coming. We appreciate it. Okay. That was good information there. City Administrator reports. Dr. Brazier, would you like to do that?
Yes, sir. And I proudly announce that part of the team right now we're completely fully staffed, and we do have a team on so many different levels in all departments. Our South Fork membership is up to 111. I got to commend again our police department are working hard. They've this last month they gave 28 tickets and 65 warnings. So they are certainly focusing and paying attention to the traffic safety within our community. Our financial report looks good. Looks like right now we are for the month about $21,000 in the black, and then $166,000 in the black again for the fiscal year. So we're really performing well there. We expect those numbers to go up as it gets hot and more people using electricity. You typically see our revenues increase. I want to let Lauren talk a little bit about dilapidated properties, but Mr. Kolodge continues to work hard in that area. He got the Moore Street cleaned up. I think he's got a few loads that he needs to make, but that's a really nice piece of property over there. And that was a huge task, but he just does a phenomenal job of getting on that excavator and separating the rocks, the metal, and then the debris. And it takes a little bit more time, but it saves the city money as he cleans up those properties. Does a great job there. And also, I just want to encourage our council and our mayor to participate in our kids fishing tournament next weekend. That particular event has grown and grown. We had, 50, 75 kids last year. We get support from Texas Wildlife. They're there and they help run the event as well. And then we get some nice awards and prizes. So kids really enjoy it. And we're super excited because this year we're going to move to the big tank. Todd and them have worked really hard in getting that cleaned up and refilling that. And they've stocked that tank. So there'll be more room, and I think it'll be a much more exciting event. So, Lauren, anything you want to touch on the dilapidated properties report?
So your dilapidated properties report is on page 35. This is a living, breathing document. So every time you see it, it'll look the same, but the dates will change depending on where you sit in your status. I will say that we had an additional conveyance come in yesterday on North Main Street. That packet will begin soon. And we have the location on Northeast Street, I believe, Mr. Tips. They will be conveying his home in July. So that's in the next couple of, if there's any questions, I can answer those. But we are at a total of 6 conveyances. I do believe that we will, that it will take a period of time to complete those 6 conveyances. One of those conveyances is a very large home too. But we are in our paving season as heat has returned and the street department is very busy. And so these structures will be, of course, managed because we will have them. We'll make sure that they're mowed and all of that, but tear downs will be paused until the weather permits us to get back to that. But we're very glad to be almost finished with 402 East Morris. That I think Ronnie told me that he had already 6 loads of rock and he expected 5 more. So it was a lot of rock. And we've already done 4 boxes on it and we ordered another 2. So it was a very large structure. But they've done a fantastic job with it.
We're in just one quick detail. The boxes we've got, these are free boxes at this point, I guess. Is that right? We hit the end of the year.
So our contract renews in June with Waste Connections,
Right.
and we're allotted so many
Yes.
free boxes, though
Free. Yeah.
they're not 100% free.
Yeah.
So yes, we are we have started using those again.
Gotcha.
We're only given so many. So now that the contract is renewed, we're working on doing that 402 with those boxes.
Gotcha. That every little bit helps. All right. Anything else on administrators' reports? If not, let's move to public hearings. That would be number 3 on the agenda concerning 500 East Ingram. A specific use permit is to allow for an RV travel trailer to be used as a residence while the owner remodels a trailer house outside of zoning restrictions and uses. Said trailer house, while he uses, let me reread that. While he remodels a trailer house outside of zoning restrictions and uses said trailer house as a residence once its remodel is complete, storing the RV travel trailer on the premises. Is that property out on the Alney Highway? Used to be the BCAT?
BCAT transport. Mhm.
Yes.
So your ordinance states that you do not allow for manufactured homes to be used as a residence inside the city limits that are older than 5 years. The way we police that is once those things change hands, they are no longer grandfathered, which is not a term that we use. Everybody else use that term, but they're no longer grandfathered. So this property has changed hands. So to use it as a residence and to not have to remove it from the property, the new owner has requested a specific use permit from y'all with the intention of remodeling the trailer house and then using it as a residence and then storing the travel trailer in the backyard when it's no longer in use. And I believe, I don't guess we have anybody.
The gentleman here that would you like to speak? No. Okay, that's okay. That's fine. Might ask you, you're going to keep that fence up that surrounds the property, the fence? Okay. There's a metal fence that surrounds that
Mhm.
property for the most part, I think.
And we'll have this in an action item later.
Okay, all right. This is the first step. We'll come back to this later, later in the meeting. Okay, number 4? Or would anyone else like to speak on it? Well, no, we're going to come back to it later, so that'll be the opportunity to speak. Number 4, ordinance 2025-05, amending ordinance 2023-05 to increase the surrender fee from $100 to $140. Those are for pets that are turned into the animal control. Is that right? Okay.
And y'all addressed this last month.
Yeah.
But to change the ordinance, you have to have a public hearing. So this is the public hearing required to change that ordinance.
Okay. All right. Number 5, ordinance 2025-06, amending ordinance 2024-1 or -15 for the purpose of increasing trash rates, commercial and residential. I think this is in the contract we signed a couple of years ago at least.
So the contract renews every June, and there is always a set amount increase, or if inflation has happened, it's based on something else. So that set amount was put in there. Was it 3%? 3%. Okay, I couldn't remember that. So it's a 3% increase. We brought these to you again last month. You approved those rates. This is the public hearing required to pass the ordinance.
Okay. We'll come back to this later, I guess. Number 6, resolution 1587, amending the city council meeting time to be 6 p.m. for executive session and 7 p.m. for regular session, held on the third Thursday of each month at City Hall Auditorium, 301 North Washington. And it's just kind of a thought we had, and we'll get back to this later in the meeting, where it can be discussed if anyone would like to discuss it. Consent agenda. We've had time to look at that. Some of these will be, well, in fact, the trash rates, commercial and residential, that 3% increases went to the consent agenda since we did approve it last month. Anybody want to discuss anything there? If not, we need a motion.
Mayor, I make a motion, we approve the consent agenda.
Okay, we have a motion to approve the consent agenda. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
We have a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, no. Okay. Okay, action items. Discuss, number 13, discuss, consider, and take action to appoint a mayor pro tem. And what a mayor pro tem does is, in my absence, or he will step in and fulfill the basic duties of mayor at the meeting and those kinds of things. And I guess outside, the mayor wasn't available, he could just fill in till election, I guess. Anybody have any discussion on that? Anybody from out here would like to speak on that? You're certainly welcome to speak on that.
Mayor, I want to appoint Billy Hendricks as mayor pro tem.
Okay, we have a motion to appoint Mayor Billy Hendricks as mayor pro tem. Is there any discussion on this? Mayor Billy Hendricks has been a councilman for about 62 years, I think. He's been on there, maybe not quite that long. Nothing from the public? Okay, we got a second?
Mayor, I second
Thank Thank you, Council Lady Gillespie. We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, say no. Okay, it passes 4-0. Okay. Number 14, discuss, consider, and take action to remove Monty Glass from the City of Seymour signature cards, and replace with Nancy Townley. I know she know how to do that. Pending board placement. She has been confirmed, so Is there any discussion on that from the public? Any discussion up here?
Mayor, I'll make the motion, we remove Monty Glass from the signature authority and Nancy County.
Okay, we have a motion to do this. Is there a second?
Mayor, I second it.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any more discussion? None. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? It passes. Okay. You only have to sign your name no, I don't guess you have to sign your name 43 times anymore. That's down to like 3 or 4 times or something, or maybe one time. Thank y'all for doing that. That's, oh my God. Because I've done that a couple of times. It's arduous. Okay. Okay. Discuss, consider, and take action to allow Seymour Helping Hands to move the location of their May 2nd, 2026 Spring Fling Car Show to downtown and close off certain streets associated with the event. You don't care to say anything? Come on up, Kim. We set aside 45 minutes for this. No, we didn't. No, we didn't. No.
Would you believe it's 5 years this next year?
Wow.
It doesn't seem like it, does it? And when we started this, I told you guys that we were taking it down to the park, and eventually we might outgrow the park. Well, we outgrew the park. The biggest thing is that while we're down there, one of the things that we see is that we're disturbing some of the people in the apartments. And about Seymour, we have to listen to what they say. And the parking down there is just not the greatest for an event our size. When we stop counting cars, on average, we've got about 60 cars that come in, and we still have them coming in even after sign-up time. So we can have 65, 75 of those old plastics down there. This last year, we had 59 when we stopped counting, and that was registration ends, but we still had them rolling in. And on vendors, we can have anywhere from 30 to 50 vendors per event. So there's quite a big amount of people, and then we got to figure out where do we put their cars. And so we want to move it down here, down around the courthouse square, shut off some streets down there. It does run from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. technically. Now, we close it off early in the morning because we're down there sitting up at 6:30, 6:45, 7 a.m. And we are usually out of there, honestly, by 3:30, 3:45, and we leave it like you can't tell we've been there. That's the whole point of anything we do is we want to make sure we clean up after ourselves. So we'll continue to do that. What we're asking is permission to shut off the road on McLean, I believe it is, that starts at I always call it Ferguson's, it's United now. And then at the main street, down there at the end where courthouse comes in at. And then at the other end of the courthouse, we're kind of making an L right there. And just to the end of the alley area where our buildings end right there on just off Washington. And the reason being is we don't even have things ready to go really yet. We've already got 4 vendors and 2 food trucks and 3 cars already signed up. And it's July or June. So we're expecting a pretty good show. We're hoping to have 75 to 100 cars this year. The big thing about it also is we get a lot of traffic down there by the park. Of course, there's kids and things like that. If we bring it down here, maybe we'll catch some of this through traffic, not just local people, but these people that are coming through and get them to stop and spend a little money here in Seymour. So that's why we're asking to let us change it over there, is so that we can be a little bit better for Seymour and everything.
Any questions up here? At some point, I know we're getting way ahead of, it's next May, but at some point you can bring up a diagram of the streets.
Oh, yes, sir.
Like you've done before, I think, and
Yes, sir.
show us all that. I've kind of got a general idea in my head, but it would be good to see that on paper.
We have the reason we start so early, guys, is because when we started this 5 years ago, there were 3 shows that ran at that same weekend. Now there are 15 shows in the North Texas, Oklahoma area, and I've been told multiple times that we're one of the top 3 shows, and that's not bad for such a small town. We compete. Our biggest competition is Altus and Snyder, and they have really big shows. But we have cars. One of the cars that we got this last year was one of 19 cars in the United States, and we have those people are contacting us going, "Are you going to be doing it again next year?" And not only that, having it downtown, it doesn't just support the businesses. It shows these people where the money that they spend and that they donate goes to in our car show. It shows them the community center. And we are, again, not going to be charging for our car people. And I've had some people ask me about this, and somebody said there might have been one of you guys that asked about why we don't do it. So I'm going to tell you why we don't do it. If you tell these car guys it's $10, it's $20, whatever to show your car, that's what they're going to hand you. But if you tell them donate what you feel like donate, they're going to look at it and they're going to look at the show and they're going to go, here we go. And then our people are going to come around and tell them and show them what we do and show them pictures and talk about what we do. Our volunteers are going to walk up and shake their hands. And these guys are going to hand us more and help us out more. This last year, thanks to the windmill farm that donated and to all the car people and the vendors and everybody, we raised $9 short of $8,000. And every penny of that goes back into what we do so that we don't have to charge the community for anything we do.
Kim, thank you very much. And maybe first part of next year, what do you think? Come back?
Oh, yeah, usually in January or so.
That's
sure
what
you
I'm
guys know
thinking,
we're
yeah.
doing. I just like to keep you guys all in the know.
Gotcha. Thank you very much. Appreciate you coming in. Any discussion on that from the community? Let's see here. We can we don't have to act on this.
I think the question is, do you approve them moving the event to the downtown area? And I would go ahead and either approve or deny the moving of that, and then we can discuss road closures later.
Approve it subject to a drawing or further information as far as the street closings. Would that sound okay? Something like that. Somebody want to make a motion like that, subject to further information on the streets, or phrase it any way you care.
Mayor, I make a motion that we allow Seymour Health Advantage to move the car show part of the downtown and
Yeah, subject to receiving a street closing diagram at a later date. Okay, perfect. Okay, do we have a second?
I second.
We have a second. Did you get all that, Lauren? Okay, we've got recordings tonight. You can go back and look at it. Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any more discussion? If not, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Oh, not me, but I can't vote. Okay, bringing a.
The bricks, you would ask me that. I believe they are $100 for this size, sir. And then we have what's called a corporate or larger brick that is $225. Yes, sir. The bigger ones have 8 lines of, there's quite a few digits in there, and the smaller ones are like this. We've actually we started this afternoon. We've already sold 4 bricks. So I'm happy. We're going to get
That's a
there.
good idea. Okay. Number 16, discuss, consider, and take action concerning protest of denied specific use permit at 608 North Odom for an RV park with 10 parking places.
We have a representative to speak and
Yes,
on
ma'am.
this. This starts on your page 131, and it includes a property owner's response sheet, and then the application and the mapping that was provided in the application as well.
We're trying to get to page 131. Is that what you said? Okay.
Yes.
29, 130, 131. Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Hi, I'm here to speak on behalf of Adam, who's a manager at AL Ham Camp. He has been working in town for several years now and would like to build a residence using RVs now so they can have a more permanent place to be able to bring their families and to invest tens of thousands into capital improvements into Seymour. Helm Camp, for me and my fiance, who has Glenn's Welding North, have not only been good working companions, but they have been friends and exactly the kind of people that I would want as a neighbor. They help, they are clean, they are quiet, they are not in and out traffic, and they are more long-term than maybe some people coming in and out with windmills and other things. I do believe that this was not technically denied, it was just pushed off. Is that correct?
So technically, it died for a lack of motion. Y'all did not officially deny the application.
Home Camp has been here, in Seymour since 2012 and has given plenty of businesses all the business that they could do versus taking it to Wichita or anybody else. So I think having them would be an asset, and then giving them a place where their families can come would even further help our community with the kind of neighbors that they have or would be.
Y'all recall the information we got? That was, let's see, this one is at 608 North Odom.
And
Yeah.
this property has a 911 address problem. Okay. True 608 is on, if you are driving north on Odom Street, true 608 is on the right because all the addresses that are odd are on the left.
Yeah.
However, this property is listed as 608 by every entity, but it's actually an odd number. So y'all have already approved a trailer park, not a trailer park, RV park at 608, technically. So this location is on the other side of that. And this gentleman had 2 applications. This is the first one that we're reviewing now. You can see in that page 131, we sent letters to We sent letters to 19 individuals, and out of those 19 neighboring property owners, we only had 2 responses of a no and 1 a yes. Mr. Truckus that owns the property. The other application, we had a different response from property owners. So there were 2 sets of letters sent out, just so there's clarity on that.
And I can also attest that he's already done massive amounts of improvement before even knowing if this would go through. So it's already been an asset as far as that goes.
I think the other one at 801,
Mhm.
801 Odom. They've, knocked down trees and scraped it off and that kind of thing. I don't know what's been done on not 608, let's call it 607. But is there any discussion up here? Anybody want to?
The neighbors what's got me concerned. They all said no.
That's 2 no's out of how many?
At the 600,
608.
at the 608, you only had 2 no's out of 19. The next property list that has that more responses is on page 136, but on 131, which is concerning the 608 location, you only had 2 responses out of 19. There were a lot of property owners.
On the other one, I think it was 5-0,
We'll
5-1.
look at it. And
Yeah. But this one was,
I understand that there was a bit of a concern because the other RV park that was approved was for windmill employees. So it's a lot busier in and out, switch around. This is a small group of guys that has been working in this area for many years that just want they want to be more part of the neighborhood as they can. Also with possible, putting in tiny houses and things like that in the future to establish more of a permanent residence in Seymour. So a little bit different, between those 2.
I will say that I believe the majority of these people already live here in RVs, probably located behind AL Ham Camp itself, which has a lot of people living there. So in their benefit, it would be an upgrade to not be living in the backyard of their work. Yeah.
Absolutely.
But I think that most of them are already residents here.
okay. Any discussion at this end of the table? What about discussion from anybody else from the public like to weigh in on this? You're welcome to do so. Ms. White, anything else?
No.
Okay. If there's no more discussion, then we can take action on this if there's a motion made. Is there a motion to do anything here? Last time. If there's no motion, then it dies for lack of a motion. So we go to number 17, discuss, consider, and take action concerning protest of, it should be something that failed for lack of a motion, for a specific use permit at 801 North Odom, just down the street, for 2 RV parking spots to be used as residences. Okay.
So this property is represented in your packet on page 136. There's less people involved in it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We sent 9 letters out. Out of those 9, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 no's and 1 yes. And included is the application and the map, site map for that development.
Okay. Do you want to speak on that one, or just it's the same? It's basically the same thing. Yeah, there were more no's on this one, but any discussion from the folks out here? If not, anything up here? If not, would someone like to make a motion on that? That's number 17. If there's no motion being made, then it fails for lack of a motion. Okay. I guess we're going to move to number 18. Discuss, consider, and take action concerning 500 East Ingram specific use permit to allow for an RV travel trailer be used as a residence while owner models a trailer house outside of zoning restrictions and uses said trailer house as a residence once remodel is complete, storing the RV travel trailer on the premise. So due to the age of the trailer, it needs this special permit.
Yes. So you have a rule that says you can't use a trailer house because this really doesn't fall into manufactured home standards. You can't use a trailer house as a residence unless you can't, it has to be within 5 years manufactured date of the current date. So it's out of compliance for that. The second part of that would be, normally we don't allow you to use a RV or a travel trailer as a residence in an R1 district. So the permit allows for them to use their travel trailer as a residence while the remodel is made on a non-compliant aged trailer house. And then use said trailer house as a residence, storing the RV trailer in the back. That application is in your packet starting at page 140. Page 141 is the letters that we sent out to the adjacent property owners. We sent out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 letters. We had 3 yeses and a no opinion. And then a lot of no responses. However, I did speak personally to the property owner directly behind, that's Miss Bernice Birkenfeld. And I spoke with Janie Edelman, who is the property owner directly abutting the property as well. And with Judy Neal. So not only did they respond, but they called in and we had conversations. Both the adjoining property owners thought of it in this frame of mind. If the property remains the way it is, you're going to have a vagrant environment problem. They would much rather the property be remediated so that it's lived in, cleaned, and maintained versus being left abandoned in the abandoned state that it was. So that's why they moved to approve.
I noticed there's not a time limit on this to.
The application didn't have one, but y'all are allowed to do whatever in your,
If a motion.
in your motion.
Yes, absolutely. Well, I don't think he wants to come up. Okay. How long to remodel? Do you know about how long? A year? 1 year? One años? Gotcha. Uno años. That's the only Spanish one I remember. I'm sorry. That's it. That's about it.
I will say you also have already given them a permit once for, to use a travel trailer as a residence. They applied last year, under his wife's name, for the property at the very end of Donald Street, that big lot. And they have chosen not to develop that, though that permit does remain with them as they are still the owners. If they were to ever sell, that permit would die. But while they are still the owners of that property, that permit stays. But this was their decision moving forward. So we have seen an application from them before.
Say what? Yeah, I think, could he come back in 6 months and let us know? Yes. I mean, 1 year at the outside but do a 6 month, if he could give you a report or give us a report in 6 months.
Okay. Just make sure you include it in your motion and I'll ensure Mr. Garcia gets the information.
Any more discussion on this? When would you start? Would someone like to make a motion?
I make a motion that we allow on 500 East Ingram the specific use permit. This will be for a 1 year, and then we would like a report within 6 months on how the progress is going.
If the project's not completed in a year, we have the option to withdraw the permit.
If that's how your motion reads. Specific use permits are really at your behest, however you want to.
So in 1 year, we'll address if we want to pull it or extend it.
It'd be evaluated again in 1 year.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. You come back in 6 months, tell us how it's going, then come back in a year and let us know if you're through, or before a year if you get done before then.
Or at least in 6 months, bring pictures or something, bring them to Lauren so we can actually see how the progress is going. Yeah. If that makes you feel better.
I'll second Bill's motion.
Okay, any more discussion on that? Anything up here? If not, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. It passes. Okay, got that. Let's see where we're at. Number 19, discuss, consider, and take action concerning substandard structure at 601 South Washington. I know who that is, CT. Come on up. Yeah.
All right this evening.
Speak right into that if you will, or hold it up, or however you want to do it.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
It's okay. All right, progress on the property right now is been kind of slow. I did do quite a bit as far as I was able to do on the outside, clean up shrubs and overgrown trees and that nature. On the inside, I haven't been able to do hardly anything, mainly because of the exceptional amount of rain that we've had in the last 90 days. And the roof is leaking and it's just difficult to try to get some help in there when it's wet. And one other thing, I did talk with Lauren about trying to get city service up there as far as a trailer or something to help haul off the trash. And it seemed like about the only possibility the city would have would be to park a dump truck up there. Physically, I just don't think I could handle tossing stuff into a dump truck like that until I do it. So we did kind of come to an agreement that I could borrow a trailer from a friend when it was available to do the trash haul off myself to get it to the dump ground. One other thing about the dump ground is I only have access to the dump ground Friday afternoons after about 1 o'clock would be the only time. I can't make the dump ground during the rest of the week because I work till 5 o'clock. And that's basically it. I just need a little more time to figure out exactly what's going on. I do still have some people that want to look at the property once I get the insides and stuff kind of cleaned up on possible sale.
So, do we not have a trailer we can do like, I saw something the other day that indicated we had a trailer, but maybe we don't do that anymore.
No, so we have, it's not misleading, but in our schedule of fees for the transfer station, it mentions a trailer and a dump truck and things like that. And you could misconstrue that as that's our service fee for those things. But I called Ronnie and asked him, what do we have? And the issue is you park a trailer just anywhere and someone will come pull up next to it and walk off with the trailer, And so we have to park a truck attached to it. And now you have a city vehicle parked on a street with a trailer. And it just wasn't real conducive to the way that we're doing work. The other option would be if, everything was bagged up and ready to go or whatever, and not to say we put it at the curb, but if we knew and we could make arrangements with the city guys that we were just going to come and take it all off his hands like we would if we did a pickup at a location, then that would be something we could do as well. But that's just going to take some organization on our parts. And we don't work on the weekends, which is the most, valuable time that he probably has, or Friday evenings. And sometimes our guys are gone after 1 and definitely after 4 or 4:30 because they go to work in the mornings.
Are you considering a tear down, or is this?
If the people that want to look at it decline a purchase, probably a tear down. And one other thing I would like to request is an estimate, a close estimate, a ballpark figure at least on what the city would charge for a tear down if I maintain the ownership of the property. And so I can kind of shop around and see what it's going to cost me out of my pocket.
I know we've got a list of contractors, and like I say, it takes a little while sometimes to get an estimate from us, but something like that. 90 days.
So how long would you estimate?
Pardon me?
How long do you need? Sorry. How long do you need?
I still didn't hear Nancy.
How long would you need? You're asking for an extension.
Basically, that if I can get some outside help, it's kind of as I have tried to do some stuff on the inside, but I do need some assistance with that. When I could line up somebody to help me, then it would rain. Then they weren't available the next time, and it's just kind of hard to find somebody to help you do stuff like this. I would say another 90 days. I would be ready to just either say it's either sold or we're going to knock it down, one way or the other.
Before knocking it down, you're trying to get all the stuff out of it.
Yes.
Is that what you're trying to do? Gotcha. How good? How percentage?
There's still quite a bit of just personal belongings.
Right.
Because when I moved, I just all I could do was move across the street. So
Yeah, I
didn't
remember.
load up a bunch of stuff and have
I
to
remember.
change locations with it. So
I got you.
it's that's the main thing.
I got you.
Is it secure? There's no ways in it,
It's secure except for the roof.
but okay.
Right. I mean, there are
Yeah.
some holes in the outside roof part of it.
The-
But as
the-
far as access from going through doors, windows, open doors, or doors falling off, windows knocked out, no, it's locked up.
Okay.
That's another thing. As far as trying to get the roof covered, I don't know what that would cost, and I don't know if it's wise to spend a bunch of money trying to get that part in compliance if you're going to turn around in, in 60 days or whatever, 90 days, and then just demolish it. I mean, that's just like kind of throwing money down the drain.
I will say that having the doors and the windows closed and secure does offer, a 90% closure off for vagrants and varmints. I mean, you're probably going to have squirrels, but I mean that you can't get rid of the squirrels. So it is a secure property.
I was thinking, I drive by it quite a bit. It seemed like the windows and the doors are intact and that
They
kind of thing. Does anybody any more discussion out here? Any more discussion up here? Somebody want to make a motion going forward? About affording some extra time. We've done 90 days. Somebody want to do 60 days? Okay.
Mayor, I make a motion, we, on the structure at 601 South Washington, give another 60 days to clean it up or sell it. Is that,
Okay. Well,
it don't matter, it don't matter to me, just clean it up.
clean it up.
Yeah.
Well, what do you mean by clean up?
Well, I
Fix the
mean,
holes in the roof, is that enough to patch the holes in the roof? Is that enough to get?
empty the house out in 60 days, it needs to be sold or
Torn down,
torn down,
removed.
demoed.
Okay.
Because that was our motion before, the first 90 days, wasn't it?
I mean, if it's,
Yeah.
if there's no holes in the roof, is it in compliance?
Yes.
If the roof is patched, then yes, it would be in compliance.
Okay.
That's a 60 days to decide
Okay.
sell, demo, or
Be in compliance.
be in compliance.
Is that
Yeah, that's
what
good.
you want your motion to include? Okay.
Yes. Would y'all get that motion? Is there a second?
A second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Okay, it passes.
All right.
All right,
Thank you.
we'll check in later. Good luck. Okay, I think we know something has happened on this. Number 20, discuss, consider, and take action concerning substandard structure at 907 North Main. Beg your pardon? Conveyed. We got some communication from the owner. They are going to convey the property to the city. And then at that point, we will, in all likelihood, take that property down. Okay, so you got that, Lauren?
I don't need any action, because the property owner reached out to us.
Okay, very good. 21, discuss, consider, and take action concerning substandard structure at 401 North Arkansas. We gave some time on that, and if someone would like to speak. I drove by the house earlier. It looked like the windows, there are windows in those dormers. There's the south side's been closed off. Come on up and tell us who you are, and if you'd like to speak, just, Mary, go right ahead.
I'm Mary Slate. Everybody knows me. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm
That's
Mary
good.
Slate. And my ex-daughter-in-law, Sharon Slate, has the house that up for whatever it is across the street from me.
Yes.
And she has put new windows in. She's got the porch covered, and she's called me a while ago because she's at work in Temple, Texas, and there's no way she could make it. And
Gotcha.
so she asked me to tell you that she's doing it, and she's just yesterday bought paint so she can come back and paint it.
Okay. I noticed today that the windows are in, like you say, and then on the south side, they've closed in what used to be a screened-in porch. I don't know if y'all driven by there or not, but
Oh, it's never been screened in. It was just a porch.
yeah, just a porch. I remember, I'm too old. I remember when it had a screen on it
Oh.
100 years ago, so.
Oh, well, I've been next door
Yeah.
for 20 somethings or 30, so
Yeah.
I didn't remember a screen ever being on it.
Well, they have, in my opinion, have secured the property, your daughter, Sharon. And do we want to go any further on this, or if it's secure, it's secure? So it's in compliance. So
It does meet the minimum standards of compliance, yes.
yes, thank you. And if she would like to paint it, that'd be wonderful. Okay, we appreciate the work that she did on it. No action taken, or we found it in compliance, maybe?
Yes, it's in the minimum standards compliance, and then if it comes back out of compliance, then you'll see it again.
All right. If we're okay on that one, number 22. Ooh, we got a ways to go. Discuss, consider, and take action concerning substandard structure at 301 North Donald. And I see Mr. Slade out here. Come on down. If you want to introduce yourself, feel free to do so. If you don't, it's okay too.
Well, most of y'all know me, Ed Slate.
Okay.
And y'all know I don't live here no more, but I still have property here. If you go and buy the place, you see I have been working on it. The windows, all the windows are in there. It's locked, and I had one door that was kicked in a while back. It's still boarded up. You can't get in through the back door. I've been stripping down the roof with all the storms and stuff we've had. It's slowed me down. I haven't got the house completely empty. Still got a bunch of my grandfather's stuff, but I do have some stuff out. And I've been working on getting that roof off. And if everything goes right, hopefully next summer I'll be moving it out the house to Red Springs.
What are you going to do with the roof? Are you going to put a new roof? Or you're taking the roof off?
I'm going to take the roof off. It'll be a whole lot easier to move it because it won't be so tall, because that's got a 12-12 pitch, so it's a pretty tall roof already, and this area don't need that much of a pitch. And be a whole lot easier getting it under power lines with it off. But I have been stripping the shingles and stuff off. I did have a trailer to put everything in, but like everything else around here, somebody decided five-finger discount was good. I had a 16-foot landscape trailer, and it come up missing out of a fenced-in backyard at 803 Stadium Drive, which I think the girl was renting the house, decided, I'm hearing rumors, she was trying to sell all my stuff.
No, that's not good. Well, here's what we need to decide. Do we want to go
I just need some more time.
further with Mr. Slate to next summer as a final deadline? Or do we want to proceed?
Well, y'all told me you have the roof off and like I said, with the weather, I can have the roof off by the end of the summer, no problem, because I've been coming on weekends to work on it.
What's that doing to the interior of the house?
That's what
Not much.
I have a question for you. If you're going to take that roof off, are you going to lay decking on the rafters
It's
there?
actually got decking there.
So it's a solid
It's all-
wood,
it's all-
solid
it's
wood
not- The
decking?
house built in 1920, it's all solid wood.
Okay.
And like I said, nobody gonna, you got to go 12 feet up in the air just if you were to try to get in the house through the roof anyhow. It's got 10-foot ceilings inside, and it's already a couple of feet off the ground.
Well, varmints can climb up 12 foot and get in there.
Huh?
Varmints can climb 12 foot and get in there.
Well,
That's what I was wondering. if
I
it's-
did notice while
Well-
stripping the roof, there was a lot of, I guess, polite term, scat
Yeah.
all over the roof. So they've been on the roof anyhow. And
That's
this
what I'm
is on
saying.
the
That's why I
better
wondered,
part of
making
the
sure they
roof.
couldn't get down in the house. So make sure there's no openings for them to get in.
So then is the property considered secure because it will have decking across the top so that they can't get into the house? Because mainly what it's going to do is going to encourage breeding, right? If they can get into it. So that's what we're trying to deter. We don't want people to get in there and hanging out. We don't want varmints getting in there and hanging out. So the decking will prevent that.
And if
I did remove most of the trees and everything right next to the house. There's a couple of them. I broke my chainsaw, so I didn't get all of them, but I did trim everything back. And it seems like this rain made it grow faster. And this last weekend, I sprayed it down with Kill All, grass and weed killer, and I just sprayed everything down. So that hopefully it don't work very fast, but has been effective. And hopefully it'll stop showing all of that has grown up, because you can see it when I got it. You can see all the windows all the way around the house, and there's none busted out. I said most of them or some of the windows actually got screws on the inside. So if you wanted to, you ain't lifting them anyhow.
So you're saying if we give you 1 year, you'll have it moved in 1 year,
That's the game plan.
1 year from today.
I'm hoping. I can't promise. I'm a poor boy.
I know,
And everything's going up higher and higher.
I know.
But if it gets to the point I have to take it down and move it board by board, I'll move it board by board.
That's gonna take more than a year.
But I like I said, the
Have
site,
you checked on how much it's gonna cost you to get it moved?
no, I know it's going to be over 5,000 though. I said, I haven't contacted anybody about moving it. I said, I wanted to get everything where I could do something before I did something. And I said, I have been working on the place. I try to keep it mowed. I said, this rain this year has been making things grow faster and I can keep up with it. And right now, all I got is a little push mower to mow it. I've made a deal with someone to mow it for me. And hopefully, starting this month or next month, they'll start mowing it for me. So I won't have to just spend a day mowing it. But I have pretty much kept it mowed. It's got 2 huge pecan trees that are real nice there.
So your plan is to remove the roof entirely this summer, so by October, or what's, I don't know.
Well, y'all told me to strip the shingles off of it, and I know there's a lot of houses in town that have just the framework of the roof that's still up on the house. So I said that was my game plan right now, is get it to where y'all wanted it last meeting that I was at. And once I get all that done, then I'm going to start on getting everything prepped to move.
Did we ask him to take the shingles? I don't remember. Maybe we did. I don't know.
My minutes don't show that as far as action
I
goes.
thought we just wanted you to
If
secure
I
the roof.
Secure the
Secure
roof.
it or
Yeah.
strip it's what y'all
Yeah.
told me.
Okay.
And I'm working on stripping it.
Yeah, I don't remember that part. I remember securing it is what I remember, but, well, I think we're looking at, do we want to go forward for a year? Hopefully, and put a drop dead deadline on this and, or do we want to, I mean, I think it's going to be a hard deal. I mean, you've thought about it. I know, you know, it's what it's going to be, but, that's a big undertaking. Anyway,
I like to revisit here in 6 months. If we're gonna give them a year, revisit in 6 months and see what the progress looks like. If there's no progress, then
is that fair?
Yeah, I got a third of the roof stripped right now. And hopefully by the end of summer, I'll have the rest of it completely gone. Like I said, the heat's coming and all I got is Saturdays.
Well, that's why I think you were saying 6 months. That way it gives you into the fall and you really get after it.
Do I have anybody else want to speak on this out there or here? If not, does somebody want to make a motion to revisit this in 6 months and see what the progress is? And just honestly, if it's just kind of like it is now, I'm for just, taking the next step. But I've seen what you've done over there. You've obviously been up on the roof. Have you been up there doing that, or?
Yes, I've been doing it myself.
Yeah, I
got my youngest son to help last weekend, but I did about double what he did and give him a hard time because he should be able to do double what I do.
Gotcha.
I know I'm not the spring chicken I used to be.
Well, none of us are. Someone want to make that motion?
Mayor, I make a motion that we revisit the structure at 301 North Donald in 6 months. See what the progress looks like. If no progress has been made, we take to the next step.
Okay. Is there a second on that?
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second. You get all that, Lauren? Okay. All in favor? Any more discussion here or out there? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Okay, that's where we're at. Good luck. You betcha. Okay, moving forward. Number 23, discuss, consider, and take action concerning substandard structure at 807 Murray. Can I include 24 in this as well, or let's do that? I'm going to go ahead because it's the same property owner. Number 24, discuss, consider, and take action concerning substandard structure at 607 West Pecan. You want to speak on why we're back here? again?
Okay, so Mr. Knezik has requested from us for about 2 weeks now, we have been busy, for a quote to tear down 807 North Murray, and we have yet to get him that quote back. So, and he has diligently called me every other day. So he has attempted to get this quote from us. I just say that he's not sitting on his haunches waiting on me. He has actively tried to get this information from me. We have not completed that estimate yet. I don't have, there has been no change to the property. And your page 150 is sad because I didn't get pictures. So it just says 607 West Pecan, sorry. But it is in the same state that it was originally when you viewed it previously. Mr. Knezik could not be here tonight. He has requested that we revisit both of these next month so that he can be present, and hopefully we will have a estimate for him on teardowns.
Has he contacted anybody that we gave a list of or anything?
I don't know. Okay.
He
Yes,
has contacted them? Okay.
He hadn't got a bid from us yet, but who he's talked to, he hasn't been able to afford.
We do supply with a list of who we know are vendors that will tear down houses to anybody that their house has been deemed
I thought he said that
substandard.
last month. I couldn't remember.
But he is waiting from us to hear from a quote, and he hasn't gotten it yet. So I have no idea. I don't know what that quote would be. The issue with 807 specifically is the massive amount of vegetation that's going to have to be removed to even get to the structure. So you're talking manpower. That's going to be a lot of like chainsaws and pulling limbs, and it's not necessarily just pushing stuff over or picking it up and moving it sometimes because there's a lot of vegetation going on there.
Yeah.
Yes. So that's another thing. If we gave him a bid, we wouldn't be able to do this for a whole minute anyways because we're busy doing streets.
Well, I think one of the issues was I think we put the motion in there. The motion came out as begin in what was one of them 60 days and one of them's 90 days, right?
Yes. This was the 90 day, or this was the 60
60
days, and
days.
the pecan was the 90
Pecan's the
days.
90 days. So we need to reword that to start
yes.
the clock tonight.
He needs a finish date. He
Yes.
needs to know what your
Yes.
end date you want him to
Yes.
be complete on, because the way it was worded in the motion
Yes.
was to begin, but not to complete.
Yeah.
So they need a completion.
And I visited with him briefly and I said, if that's what I'm understanding, the clock would just start. And he said, I'm fine with that. And he has started actually tearing down the one on Murray. Now, it's kind of
it's going to be a slow process.
it's a slow, I mean, he had a pickup truck and a brother helping him at some point. So he's wanting to get that bid from the city to kind of finish up.
Yeah.
I can do this or I can't do it.
So we could table this till next month, next meeting?
No, we need. Yes.
Okay.
And then,
While you have
Yes.
combined these to discuss them in your motion, I would appreciate if you did a motion for 807 and a motion for
Yes.
607 as they're separate structures, and we may have to deal with them separately.
807,
So,
yeah, 807 was 60 and Pecan was 90 the last time.
In our original?
Yes.
no, it's, goodness, your report.
Yeah, 60 for this one. And 90 for Pecan Street down there.
Hold
Oh,
on,
it's
I can
been-
tell you, I got to get back to my dilapidated properties
been-
report.
It's been 30. It was at the last meeting.
Yeah.
But he needs a fresh start because the motion didn't come out right. No, it wasn't. No, I'm sitting right here.
Okay, we had the very first public hearing on this in May, where it was listed as 803, and that was not jiving. So then in June, we did it as 807, and so that's when y'all told him 60 days, when we had that second public hearing. So we've actually talked about this a lot. It's just they didn't, the first address was
This
803.
is putting an end date on it,
Yes.
60 and 90.
So 60 is not necessarily your start date.
That's the
60 is your
end date
completion date.
from today.
from whenever your
Yeah,
motion
from,
says. Or that's how it needs to be worded.
well, he,
You need to be, like you said, remediated, secured, whatever, in 60 days. That's a complete date.
needs to be in compliance in 60 days. Well, the motion said begin. Begin.
So if you wanted to, in that your respect, you could say the motion is to secure the property or remove it in 30 days, given that you've already given him 30 days and he's aware of that. Or you can say you have 60 days to remediate.
Well, he
Or 90, whatever.
he picked up on the start.
Yeah.
And that's, I think we need to, in fairness, and like I say, he picked up on it, and that's how it's in the minutes.
Yes.
So I think we just start over. I mean, this is my opinion. Y'all make the decision up here, but I think to be fair to him, he is trying to get a bid from the city, and we haven't been able to get him a bid because they're just extremely busy. But I think they will get him a bid in the near, pretty quickly. Anyway.
Mayor, I make a motion at the structure 807 North Murray that we give Mr. Knizik 60 days as of today to have it in compliance. Or we not take the next step.
That would be,
60 days from today, we will revisit this in August meeting. I'm just saying,
you want to put a date in there? Just-
no,
No?
because what if you have to change your council meeting or something?
Okay,
No.
Okay.
Well, just 60 days. August council meeting will be reviewed.
Okay. All right.
August meeting. Is that worded correctly?
Absolutely. And what about pecan? You want to, that was a 90.
Do a
Okay.
second on the 807 and then we'll go to pecan.
Okay. Any discussion on that? Pecan?
Mayor, I make a motion that the structure 607 West Pond, we give him 60 days as of today to have it in compliance, or we take the next step.
He has 90 days
60.
on pecan.
60 on the pond.
Okay.
Okay, so I need a second for the motion at 807.
I second
Thank you.
We have a motion and a second.
on 807.
On 807.
Okay, we're back to 807.
Sorry, I needed that one
Yeah.
finished.
807 is 60, right?
Yes, they both are. The motion is, each motion is for 60 days.
Okay. 807 and 607.
Yes, I have a motion by Lynn and a second by Debbie.
Okay.
Okay.
No,
on that one? Do we need to vote on it?
Yes, we need a vote for 807.
there's no other discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? There's none opposed.
Okay.
It's 4-0.
And then on 607, I have a motion by Lynn to do a 60-day compliance as well.
I'll second it.
Okay. Any further discussion? We have a motion and a second. There's no other discussion, nothing out here. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? No. It passes. Okay.
Thank you.
Woo. Okay. Number 25. Discuss, consider, and take action concerning the request to open up for bids 900 North Stratton.
This property is where we tore down the house. It's on page 151 in your packets. It was the very first structure that we tore down because we owned it. The image is on 154. So that house doesn't exist anymore, but that's an old Google image. If you will notice the map above the house picture where that red dot is, that lot goes all the way to that fence line. So it's a fairly big lot. The other reason why we own this lot is because I believe, and I spoke briefly with the water department, that there's a supposed water line extension, isn't that correct? Right through there. The people that have requested this to be open for bid are interested to put a tiny house on it. And so, but anybody can request any city land to be open for bid. So it's at your discretion. We have to go out for bids?
This.
Oh.
The well that we're trying to get approved by TCEQ is in this picture, right? It's that brick. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yes. And that,
You said there is a water line underneath the property? No, there's just a water well. Of course, one reason I think the city held on to this property because there's a potential site for another water well. But two, we are going to have the water extension project that will be taking place and probably have some water lines run through there potentially. But then at the same time, to get approval for TCQ, there are some surveys and some different things that have to go along with the property owners that are within a certain proximity of that well. So there's a lot of variables y'all need to consider. However, it's my understanding if someone shows interest and wants to, then the city council has to do their due diligence and at least go out for bids. Now, you don't have to award the bid to anybody, but it's my understanding you at least have to go out for bids, open up for bids, and then you can at least consider that at the appropriate time. But again, there are a lot of variables y'all need to consider before you reward a contract to someone for the purchase of that property.
yeah. My main concern is the proximity to the water well we're trying to get approved. And we're having to get some something, Jeff was talking TCEQ, from some of the adjoining property owners. Some information from some of them and having to deal. I'd rather deal with us than having to, we sell the property and then we're having to deal with a property owner that might be cooperative or might not be cooperative. Yes, exactly. And that's kind of where we're at this point. Okay. Is there any more discussion on this? Anybody? Any more discussion up here? If not, do I have a motion?
I make a motion, we open the 900 North Stratton open for bids.
Is there a second? We have a second, a motion and a second. Any more discussion? Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Okay, it passes. All right. Number 26. Discuss, consider, and take action concerning Resolution 1587, amending the city council meeting time to be 6 p.m. for executive session and 7 p.m. for regular session, held on the third Thursday of each month at City Hall Auditorium, 301 North Washington. This was something we kind of kicked around. It's kind of people come and then you have your executive session at the very end, and it might be a way to more efficiently handle our business up here.
I think recently we've noticed that the executive sessions we have are either staff that needs to go back onto work, like your police department, something like that, or you have someone that travels in and they need to get back on the road. So having your executive session at the end of your meeting tends to get changed often, and you'll end up having it at the front, which then results in your audience having to go upstairs or go outside or move again to accommodate that. So if we went ahead and just you would open your meeting just like you would say the Pledge of Allegiance, take roll call. If you wanted to do it, you could just take roll call immediately. You don't have to say your pledge and all of that. And then say, we're going to enter into executive session. And then the open meeting, if your executive session lasted 20 minutes, if you didn't have one, doesn't matter. You're going to go ahead and say we had executive session at 6. And then when it's over, it's over. But your regular meeting is going to start at 7. So the public still knows when they get here at 7 that your regular meeting is going to happen. You would still take action on your executive items in regular session. So you have to do that part still to maintain transparency so that the public has the opportunity to speak on that action item too before you finish it out. But the actual executive session where it's you chatting with your lawyer or your police chief, that would be from 6 to 7, so it wouldn't disrupt your public coming to your meetings.
Also, I think we need to keep the option of having it after 7 at some point due to an extenuating circumstance or to accommodate an employee or whatever the situation may be. So that doesn't mean y'all are just deadlocked at 6. I mean, I think the council still has some flexibility to do whatever they choose to do based on those specific needs.
But what if it goes over 7 o'clock? You have to stop at the executive session at 7?
You would have to you would have to have an end to your executive session and start your regular meeting.
I didn't think about that. Yeah, makes sense.
So typically, I don't know the last time y'all had an executive session that lasted over an hour. The last one you did was pretty long, but generally speaking, we don't find that. I think what it might do too is give you a window to complete your business. And if you need to extend that window, that's fine. But you also have, like, we're going to get her done during this time. And it minimizes chatter or whatever.
Where it might drag at some point.
Yes.
Okay. All right. There you go. Okay. Any discussion out here or any more discussion up here? I need a motion.
Now I make a motion on, you want
Go ahead. Mr. Mayor, I would make a motion that we accept or change the executive sessions to 6 PM with regular sessions being conducted at 7 PM.
We have a motion to, who made the second? Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any more discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Okay. We'll be here next month at 6 o'clock. Okay.
Well, yeah, if you have an executive session, sometimes you don't have one. Yeah, we'll be here at 6.
Yeah, we're here anyway. You're right. Okay. Number 27, discuss, consider, and take action concerning a dilapidated properties interlocal agreement presented to the taxing entities concerning Baylor County Appraisal District owned dilapidated properties. I like saying dilapidated properties and a proposed method of abatement. Lauren, could you give us the basics of that, please?
Okay, so when you have property that goes back on the tax roll, people haven't paid their taxes, the CAD ends up in trust of those properties. Great examples, the Barker House on Nevada is currently a trust property. There's a house at 505 South Cedar, right? It's got 5-foot careless weeds in the front of it. You can't miss it. Trust property. The CAD does not have a maintenance department. They don't have a street department. They don't have any way to take care of these properties. One of the other things that we see is that they are sold back into the community and they maintain their integrity, which means they don't get torn down and they don't get remodeled. They remain the same way. The beautiful part of the interlocal agreement is it safeguards the taxpayer dollars from the city's investment side. We would actually recuperate all monies invested in the maintenance and or removal of that property based off the percentages that those people receive at the taxing entity. We would have our cut. We're 7, almost 8%. So we would absorb our 8% and we would still have costs involved, but it would be dispersed between the other taxing entities. The house on Nevada, I would call it a substandard structure and say it needs to be removed. The house on Cedar Street needs to be mowed and could be considered a viable property and put back on the tax roll. But mowing that property on Cedar is going to take 3 guys with a stick looking for tire irons and spigots and everything else before they can run a mower in there, or they're going to tear up their equipment. And what happens if we do tear up our equipment on a CAD property? So this interlocal agreement states all of those things. If we're going to do something together, this is how that cost is going to be broken up. We're requesting all of those entities to build in a very specific dollar amount into their budgets so that we do not exceed that. And they know that they will get a bill in the mail. Before we do a tear down, that request for tear down would go to the CAD where each entity has a representative, and we would say, we'd like to tear this down. We're going to estimate it at $6,000. You know, all know what your percentage part of that's going to be. Do y'all agree to have this house torn down? Yes, we tear it down. And then we actually recuperate the taxpayer dollars involved in it. We are trying to avoid conveyance from the CAT where we lose money. We still are cleaning up the community, but the taxpayer dollars are lost because we cannot historically recuperate the money involved in the cleanup. This way we do.
The city, I'm sorry, Billy. Yeah. The city of Seymour right now is bearing 100%, well, wouldn't you say 100%? Let's say it's a $10,000 tear down. If our part is 8% of the appraisal district, we'd pay $800. If somebody's 25%, you know, I don't know, the hospital district or the county, whatever their percentages are, they would pay that percentage.
On page 158, I have examples of what that breakdown would be based off last year's percentages. We have not gotten our allocation rates yet, and then we'll get those later. So currently last year, the school was at 47.65, and you can read there. So out of a $30,000 budget, the school would need to allocate 14.3 in their budget. The county would allocate 8.5, hospital district 3.8, city of Seymour 2.3, groundwater would be $780. And then you have only ISD is at 189. That actually will be redistributed between the other entities because only ISD only has appraisal. So it's a strange way that they're tied in on it. And it has something to do with like, oh, what's that town that starts with the W out there? That has something to do with Westover. So that 189 we get divided equally between everybody. They don't receive taxes. They just get appraising done by us. It's kind of weird.
Right. So what do we need to do on this to approve proposing this to the other taxing entities?
Yes. So as long as you don't see anything in here that you would like changed, this is what we'll take. I have requested already to be added to everybody's agenda, their respective entities. I have not gotten a response yet. And then if y'all decide to amend this in any way, then I'll take that amended interlocal to them when I'm placed on their agenda.
Is there any discussion out in the public? I hope you're a good salesman, sales lady. Dr. Brazier's a good salesman. He can go. Well, we just want you to pay more money. They'll jump right on it. Is okay. If there's no more discussion, is there a motion on number 27 to go forward with an interlocal
Mayor, I make a motion that we go forward with the property interlocal agreement.
Okay, is that good enough, Lauren? We have a motion. Do we have a second?
A second.
Okay, we have a second. Any more discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Okay. We'll see what we can do on that. Bring the entire council to the no, maybe not. Number 28. This has come up from quite a bit. Number 28. Discuss, consider, and take action concerning ordinance 2022-11 that states, provided that it, quote, there in that ordinance, it says, provided that the swimming pool, and this is at the golf course, is not rented out to a private party from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m., members may swim from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m., and only if lifeguard not on duty sign is posted. So I think the issue here is that members cannot swim. I mean, the way the ordinance, this is in 2020, this was done in 2022, is worded that if someone rents the pool and pavilion, let's say, between 6 and 8, or maybe all day, well, they couldn't do it all day, but that a member who wanted to swim would not be eligible to swim.
So a private party is able to be booked by anybody in the public, and they pay, I don't know, $85 to book a pool party. And so the ordinance originally in this 22 lake wage says that the pool, regardless of rental of the facility or anything, is available for members to swim, except for this 2-hour window from 6 to 8 if there is a private party. If not, then it's, available. But that would be the only time that members would be restricted from swimming.
So I guess the question is, do we want to maintain this ordinance, or do we want to allow members who pay their membership all year long to be able to swim? And I don't think it's, maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think there's a big issue. I mean, there's parties there. I guess there's parties there. I don't know how many, but it's not usually a big issue, but it is an issue sometimes. And we need to figure out if this is the best way to do it, or can we allow members to swim? Do we deny them? Can we turn them away to swim between 6 and 8? That's the question.
So if I understand the question correctly, if it is a private party and someone rents it out from 6 to 8, that's all, then my recommendation would be that not to allow other people to swim. Now, if they just rent out the whole facility, then public can come in there, even though there might be a private party going on there, or just people of the party swimming, they still have the right and the privilege to go in there and crash their party if they choose to do that. But if it's a private party just from 6 to 8, for example, we have a birthday party for Knox from 6 to 8, or the Townleys have one for Sawyer from 6 to 8. They probably don't want someone to come in there and crash their party when they, paid money specifically for that time frame. But that does allow then the community to come in after 8 or before to swim.
So my question, so we do post a sign or tells people that there's a private party going on from 6 to 8. We need to make a sign or something to put up every time they have the private party?
They used to have a calendar in the foyer every time there was a rental or whatever to let the members know that it was going to happen.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I'm sorry.
I think what we'll find is this: we won't rent that pool. And we certainly won't rent it to members, because why would a member pay to have a private party if all the other members can come swim in their party? If you're already paying a membership. I know, but if it's not how that's going to, if it's a members only swim from the sunrise to sunset, then why would a member pay you an additional fee to have a private party if it's not private? So you're going to find that members will no longer pay you for private parties. I think the majority of your rentals out there are members for private parties. I wouldn't think that the public doesn't rent it so much. More the public rents the city pool, right? And I think we'd have some issue in the office renting a pool to somebody that they don't get. So I think it would cause problems with us in the office. So I think the easier way to remedy it is either you rent it or you don't. I think that's the easiest way to do it.
Well,
You either take private party rentals or you just
Can we
don't.
remedy it just having rentals to the members only? Like if a member wants to have a Christmas or birthday party out there and want the pavilion and all that, they can still pay the $85 and still have their party there?
So this is just
And
pool
not have
only.
it at
It's
the
not the
public?
pavilion. Yeah, so I kind of said the same thing, right? I'm like, y'all can just duke it out and figure out who's swimming in the pool, right? But so the thing for me over the utilities, if you want us to book a reservation for someone, we need to know what we're telling them that they get that with that reservation period. Can you use your microphone? Do you have a microphone?
Oh,
Thank
I'm
you.
having a family reunion. I'm not a member of the out there, but say, and I don't know if y'all, we're just going to pretend I am or whatever. And I wanted to rent it and for private pool party, does that mean the members can come or no?
Okay, so full facility rental
No, but I mean,
allows you to use the pool because most of your full facility rental people are out of town. They're, what do you call it? Reunions and things like that, right?
Mhm.
So it allows them access to the pool, but not restricted access to where they're the only people in it. Okay. But currently, according to ordinance 2022, if you rent it for a private party, which is only between 6 and 8, then you are the sole swimmer during that 2-hour window.
and so if Joe Blow came and crashed the party, we could kick him out.
That's the way the ordinance reads. Yes.
That's what I wanna know.
So I'm probably one of the ones that Mark is tired of hearing about on this. And so we have two of the memberships of the 111 or whatever. So the Townley family pays $2,160 a year for the privileges. And we've experienced a lot of, I think the rules need to be very clear, and when they are rented and when they are, and whoever's working out there, and the signs need to be posted. A 6 to 8 thing is not a big deal. Where we've seemed to run into more of the issues is when it's an all-day event, or when it is when they've rented all day, or and even the golf tournaments aren't that big of a deal, because most of the golf tournaments we could pay extra and play in it if we wanted to. And so the issue is just the confusion, because it's not always clear as to who, and it's embarrassing for the people that are participants. It's also embarrassing for the people who are being asked to leave. And so to me, it just needs to be a clearer distinction. And as it is now, it's being interpreted that if someone has an all-day rental of the pavilion and pool, then members are not allowed. And so, which I don't believe is, I mean, the ordinance could be interpreted two ways.
That's not how the ordinance is
Yeah, the
written.
ordinance not written that
This
way.
specific ordinance says very clearly that it's only the 2-hour window that it's private to that party only. But so the piece of paper that I wrote up and gave to the clubhouse at probably 2 years ago was based off this language. And it says in there very specifically that private parties are private, and they know that. It does not say that pavilion rentals are private parties or that facility rentals are private parties. So there obviously was a break in communication when explaining those two deals.
I think it would be good, a 6 to 8 members, as long as they know that it's well posted somewhere that they can find it, that fine, they'll go from 2 to 4, whatever.
Right.
If they can work around it. It's the private parties, which if that could be clarified, then I think that would solve a lot of the issue, because weekends especially,
yeah,
that place is pretty booked up. And, you know, trying to think about it from the city's perspective, we want people to come in because they buy groceries here. They, I mean, so we don't want to disrupt that, but I think it just needs to be clear when they signed up, and probably clear a signage somewhere that's clear.
So be more specific so that we make sure we get on exactly how should we post this? How should we notify
I wish
your
we really
members?
could have some kind of a text message or an email to all members. And y'all, somehow somebody puts, I don't know who you can put in charge of that. And they send that out. Hey, there's going to be a private party on Tuesday night from 6 to 8. Because it wastes the time to go out there and go swimming, and you get up there and say, oh, well, it's closed.
Always asked to join their party. I said, come on, you know.
No, it's anywhere from Tuesday through.
I think that would work, Billy, but I think there's going to be some unanticipated problems.
Well, maybe only allow them to book Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, which are the prime time. and then the members would know they couldn't go out there
Between 6 and 8.
from 6 to 8 on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
But that's only if there is a party though. So that, I think goes back to what Billy said, is trying to communicate that clearly.
To how we would know if something was going on.
We had this, you've got little kids, or one little kid, one we call. But, you know, if you load up your cooler and your snacks and you get out there, and some lady, you've been there.
And they're
15
mad
minutes,
at
and then
that
some
point,
lady
disappointed.
starts staring at you, we're having a birthday party. Well, your little kid's going,
I would think that it would be more beneficial to the members if we only rented it out Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. You know what I mean? Instead of doing private parties from 6 to 8 on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, if that's,
Say that again, Lauren.
if you were going to pick a window to be most beneficial to your members, I would pick the Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday private rentals only. Well, we have a Tuesday rental this
That's
week. I
even
think.
better.
Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, 6 to 8, and I can work with that. What I can't really work with is I've got several grandchildren that aren't happy because we drove all the way out there and they got their food.
Right.
So,
So again, notification, signage. I will say that we don't currently have everybody's email. We don't really have that capability when it comes to notifying.
send out the automatic draft bill, you can just put it on the bottom of that.
Or is there a website that it could be posted on? Surely there's a website.
Yeah.
That way, that would be easier on you. Administratively, that's gonna be hard, but if somebody could just maintain that website so people could even go over there and look, that would be perfect.
Or the Facebook page.
Our Facebook page, see more, do more. Salt Fork does? Okay, well, there's two things there. But probably, we just need to we need to be clear, if we're gonna keep this, 2 to
Yeah.
6,
How do you want it?
I mean,
Yeah.
6 to 8.
6 to 8.
And how's that gonna be communicated? When there's a party, will it be a sign at the pool and plus whatever we can put out on social media?
I agree with what Bill's saying. It's better to know before you ever
Sure.
even go out there.
Yeah.
Because it is a pain to load all your, lay everybody up and go out there, and then all of a sudden you got kids mad or upset now they can't go get in the pool.
I don't think that we had very many for the month of June on the weekends. I think most of the ones that we had this rest of this month, we had during the week. So saying that, yes, we could block out to where those parties only happen on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But at the same time, then what if we didn't have one? How are we supposed to notify everybody that the pool is available the whole time? Because we don't have a very good notification system already in place. So,
If we post it on the Facebook, yeah, that's right. They should look before they go out there and say so.
Can you call,
Okay.
is there a,
yeah,
Is
that
there-
can be done.
is there a number at the golf course?
But
that-
there's not always staff. I mean, there should be if there's a private party, but there's not always staff.
Keep you a $10 gift card and a happy birthday card and join the party.
Just show up, say, I'm Uncle Lan.
Always carry a gift around, Bill. You just throw it out there. Hey.
Do you have staff that maintain that, your Facebook or your website?
I am that staff.
You're the person. Well, I hate to give any more work, but I think if there was just a calendar, a screenshot of the calendar of what the rentals were and a reminder on the sign up sheet or whatever. The problem is that if that same
You have to be
sign-
there to see it
if that same sign was somewhere on Facebook so people would know
before.
to go before they haul everybody out there, to me, that would be a perfect solution.
Okay. We can do that. We do all the bookings at City Hall. So, we'll just have to remember to do that. There's be another process that we'll,
Okay.
I mean, not, that sounded negative. It's
Okay.
just a new process that we'll have to
All
get
right.
used to doing.
Do we need to change anything on this, or do we just need to be clear
Up to y'all.
of what that the 6 to 8 thing is?
I don't think we need to change anything. We just need to figure out a way to communicate it. get it out there to somebody that's gonna be closed, that's a private party.
And we need to better explain to the people who are renting that when you rent the pool and the pavilion, it allows you to have swimmers that are non-members come out there and swim and use the facility, but it's not restricted. And same thing with the full facility rental. You may have 30 non-members and that price allows those 30 non-members to swim without paying the $5 a head thing. You know what I mean?
Right.
But it does not give you restricted access. So we can make some changes to our rental agreement and do some additional language on the rental agreements, educate the staff up front and
Staff at the golf course.
and the staff at the golf course. And then we will implement a calendar, our Facebook page, which is easier to update on like, I wouldn't call it emergency basis, but like, you know, if I'm not there in the office, it's easier for me to go on my Facebook app and make those changes than it is for me to access the website from my phone and make changes on the website. So,
I think more people are more familiar with the
Facebook's easier.
Facebook. Yeah, 100%.
I'm just, I don't need that there on that bill. Or Mr. Townley, I'm sorry.
Mr. Townley.
I don't have a dog in the fight here because I'm not a member or nothing, but could we set something up where you call something? You call a number and there's a recording. Hey, members, there's a party from 6 to 8 tonight. And that way you know, hey, I called and there's a party tonight. But
I don't know.
how that would get going on. I just asked.
I'd have to look. I'm not real sure.
I don't Facebook or nothing, so I would.
You know, if
They just sell the
the
Facebook.
staff is educated about what's going on, then a phone call could happen to staff at the clubhouse. But probably posting something on Facebook. It's a shared employment space. There's lots of different.
Why don't
people.
we enhance that information on our Facebook page? Tell the staff and get the verbiage on the rental agreement when they come in, so that they understand. If you rent it all day, that okay, but only between 6 and 8 is when a non-member could not. Is that accurate?
Yeah, between 6 and 8, when those parties are booked,
Yes.
would be the only restricted time.
Okay.
So when
for
the
the
parties are booked, that send it out to the golf course automatically, so they know and put it on the calendar out there somewhere.
Yes, they get a ticket just like if we had a
So
Portwood
can
rental.
somebody out there have access to the Salt Fork page?
You could, except that most of your employees are kind of temporary. So then you have a problem with people having ability to post public. You have kids.
Well, I'm just saying they have a lot more time than Lauren.
Well, posting on Facebook is easy. Making changes to the website is a lot more.
Oh, yeah, I'm talking about the
Whatever.
Facebook page. You can just tell everybody,
Yeah,
put it in.
Facebook's easy.
And next month's letter go out or whatever, you can put in there.
Yeah.
You want to know about the pools or
There you go.
look on Facebook page, check
Yeah.
before you go out there.
Okay, let's move on if
Okay.
we can. Unless somebody's got more. Anybody, I mean, I'm not trying to shut anybody down at all. We need
No
everybody
action taken, right?
educated and informed and a way to access when there's going to be people out there. So people that are not, grandchildren are not disappointed, because I've seen that before firsthand, and that ain't good. Okay, so do we need a motion? We don't need anything, no action? Okay, but we're going to enhance the notification.
Yeah, you're just requesting that your administration do a better job of clearly communicating that to our patrons. And so,
Now, you said that.
well, that's what I heard. So
You
I'm not making any
said that.
promises, but we're going to try. So there's just a lot of moving parts. So.
Thank you, Jeff. Okay, let's move on. Number 29, we're getting to the end here. Discuss, consider, and take action concerning mulching of the brush pile at the city transfer station. And we have Go ahead.
Okay,
Dr.
so the mulch pile has grown quite significantly, due to the storms that we've had. In any case, so we all still have two bids on the table. I don't know if CMW Land and Property still want to stand behind their bid of $35,000. The only issue is that we only have right at $22,000 in that budget. Now, I did talk to Finland, and they said they, of course, mulch based on cubic yardage, and they said they would come out there and mulch until they got to the $22,000, and then they would stop. But then again, it may cover it all, it may not. He said he had to go back and remeasure, and that's how they would effectively do that. So y'all could get going with Finland and then mulch what we have in that designated account. Or you could then go with CMW Land and Properties for their bid of $35,000. But I do think the brush pile needs to be addressed.
Yeah. It's massive out there right now. I've really kind of struggled with this, and I've thought and studied, and I'd like to hear everybody's idea on this. But we've got $22,000 budgeted. Is that, I mean, available to mulch? They could mulch up to $22,000 worth of, I don't know how we check that, but and the other bid is opening the fence and pushing it to a site east of the present location and burning it for $35,000 one time.
Yeah, we assume they're going to burn it. They may mulch it. They may.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, we don't know what they're going to do with it. But
Okay,
that
gotcha.
would be part of the agreement that they
Gotcha.
would get rid of it. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. So, I'd kind of like to keep it in-house personally, and where we control everything, rather than getting, into it. Long-term, that might be the way to go. But at this point, till we can get that pile down and kind of see where we're at, it's just me. Everybody's got an opinion. I'd prefer to do what we can for our $22,000, or see what they want to bid on it, or go out for bids again. I mean, I don't know. But the main thing I'm thinking about is just keeping it in-house, and where we're not getting beyond that. That's just, like I say, I've kind of laid awake at night thinking about it. What's the best way to go? Anyway, anybody else?
Percentage. I'll scream. I have no ability to judge would $22,000 make a pretty sizable dent in the pile.
Yes, I think it would be anywhere from 90 to 95%, if not more. Yeah.
Down here. Station out here. Okay. All right. Do we have a motion on this?
I would make a motion that we accept the $22,000 internally to expend those funds for the purpose of mulching the pile of debris.
Okay. We have a motion to do as much as $22,000 will do.
I second.
We have a second. Any more discussion? Okay. No discussion out there. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Okay. Is that, did you abstain? Okay. So it'd be 1, 2, 3, and 1 abstention. Now, yeah, we need a motion.
Mayor, make a motion we adjourn.
I second it.
Any discussion on this? All in favor say aye. Okay, let's go. Woo! 7, that's 2.5 hours.
So anyway,